Feeling joy after child loss can seem impossible. After walking through a grief and sadness that's so deep, feeling the opposite emotion of that, which is joy or happiness, can feel like it would never happen again. But I'm here to encourage you that it is possible to feel joy, feel happiness again after losing your child. And I want to bring to you 5 things that I did in my own journey to help bring a little bit of joy back into my days, into my heart, into my life after we lost Sam. I pray this episode blesses you. Welcome to Unlocking Joy After Grief. My name's Courtney, wife, mama of 6 kiddos, one in heaven waiting for us, and that's why I'm here. In 2017, we lost our 4-year-old son, Sam, and it's my joy to share with you everything this journey has taught me. So if you're ready for biblical encouragement, first-hand lessons, and support from a fellow grieving mama, then let's lace up our shoes and begin walking this road together. After I lost Sam, the pain and the grief and the sadness that took over completely changed me. Before we lost Sam, I was a very positive, glass half full, upbeat personality. That was just who I was. But losing Sam brought a level of sadness and grief and pain into my life that completely changed me. I remember, and this is something small, but I remember looking at my phone and, it has like the emojis that you use, and it has like the top 20 emojis that you use, like the top used ones. And then that very first one is the one that's used the most. Before I lost Sam, that emoji was always either the laughing emoji, face, or a heart, a red heart. Those were usually my top 2 because that was me. That was my personality. I was happy. I loved people. I loved life. Everything was good. And then I remember after losing Sam, my top emojis changed. Instead of the laughing face emoji, it was the crying face emoji. And instead of the whole red heart, it was the broken heart, because those were the 2 emojis that when I would text people, that was the ones I would send the most, because that was my life. It went from happy and joyful to sad and broken. And it was almost like I didn't even recognize myself anymore. Like, who am I now? Because after I lost Sam, I changed. And so that's probably a whole nother episode, is rediscovering who are we now that we've lost our child. So I'll try to add that into my episode list here to bring to you. But today I wanted to specifically talk about how I brought joy back into my life. Because again, when you lose your child, joy feels like a distant emotion. Like I'm never going to be able to feel joy or happiness ever again, because the pain and the grief and the sadness are so deep and so thick, like you can't even see through it. Like, is there even another side to this? Losing your child it throws you into the valley of the shadow of death. It's a valley, it's a shadow, it's dark, and it's full of death and sadness. And it doesn't feel like you'll ever make your way out of that valley, out of that darkness, to where the sun is shining again and you can feel joy and happiness again. I so understand that. That's where I was after I lost Sam. But I'm here to encourage you, friends. On the other side, looking back to you that's still in the darkness, that's still in the middle of that pain and that deep grief and that shattered heart that you're having to walk through right now. I'm looking back to you saying, there is joy. There is happiness. You will see the sun shine again. And I know you will, because you're going to get through it the same way I did, which is completely 100% relying on Jesus. He has the strength to carry you through that valley, through that darkness, to where you don't camp out in that darkness. You don't camp out in that sadness. That is not your new home. It is a road that you have to walk through. It is a process you have to go through. but we're going through it. We're passing through it. We're not living there. We're not staying there. We're not camping out there. There is another side that Jesus has for you, and you can get there if you rely on Him, if you let Him carry you, if you keep taking those steps, step by step by step, with His help, in His love, in His strength, you will see the other side. Now, I will say, I'm going to give you my 5 things that I did to bring some joy back into my life. But I do want to say that the joy you feel, when you feel it, will be completely different than the joy you felt before you lost your child. That joy, that happiness that I had before I lost Sam, I have never felt again, because we are not the same. Me and you, we've lost our child. We are not the same. And so every emotion we feel, everything we experience from that point on is going to be different. I always say it's almost like there's a line in the sand of, this is my life before I lost Sam, and then this is my life after I lost Sam. It was a very pivotal moment that just changed everything for me. And so you can feel joy, but it will not feel the same as it did before. I always say that it's like it's tinged with sadness. The joy and the happiness is there, and I feel it. But there's always this outer layer of sadness that Sam's not here to experience it with me. You know, we never have to be reminded that our child is not here. It's something that we carry every day. Every breath we take is a constant reminder that our child is not here. But you can feel joy again. You can feel happiness, even if it's mixed with sadness. Even if you feel both at the same time, you can feel it again. And that brings me to my first thing that I believe is very important before you even experience joy, before you even start trying to do things that bring joy back into your life. The very first thing that you have to do. So number 1, give yourself permission to feel joy again. It can almost feel like you're cheating or on something, or you're doing something that's you're not supposed to be doing. I remember the first time I laughed after I lost Sam. I almost felt bad about laughing and feeling joy. I'm like, well, I shouldn't. Why am I laughing right now? I just lost my son. Why? I shouldn't be feeling happy. I shouldn't be feeling this laughter. This doesn't feel right. And so if that's you, if you have felt bad about feeling happy or feeling joy, I want you to give yourself permission. It is okay to feel joy. It is okay to laugh. It is okay to be happy. That's an important part of learning how to live after you lose your child. Learning how to live with this grief that we're going to have to carry, with this sadness we're going to have to carry the rest of our lives. In order to learn how to live with it, we have to learn how to feel joy and happiness again and be okay and not feel bad. It's okay that you feel joy. And you know what? It's okay that you want to feel joy and that you want to be happy again. It's okay to feel that. It's okay to want that. So number 1, give yourself permission to feel joy, to want to feel joy, and to plan some joy in your life. That is okay. It is perfectly normal. So give yourself that permission. Number 1. Okay, so that wasn't very tactical, I know, but I needed to say that because I believe that's an important foundation to touch on before we start talking about the tactical things that you can do to feel joy. Okay, so number 1, you have to give yourself that permission. So number 2, plan something that you can look forward to. Being on this grief journey can feel like an eternity, especially when we start thinking about the rest of our lives without our child. It can feel like, how am I going to make it? It feels so heavy. So number 1, let's not think that, right? We got to bring it in, just like I talked about a few episodes back. Let's bring it in. That's too much. We're just focusing on today. But I do think it's important to plan some things that you can look forward to. Maybe it's a vacation, maybe it's a weekend trip, maybe it's a day trip to go see your friend or your mom or someone in your family. Maybe it's to go to a park that you love to hike. But planning something, put something in the books, in your calendar that you can look forward to. At the time of this recording, we're going to the beach next week. So in 1 week, we will be packing up and getting ready to go to the beach. And it has brought so much joy to my life, to my heart, something for me to look forward to that brings me happiness. Now, again, to go back to what I was talking to before, all of the happiness that I feel when we're at the beach is going to have sadness in it too, that Sam isn't there. The beach was his favorite place. We actually went to the beach 3 weeks before we lost him. And so, yes, there will be times that it's going to be hard. And yes, there will be times that I will be sad. But you know what? There will be times that I'll be happy and that we'll laugh and that we'll have joy and we're making memories. And that's okay to have both. It's okay to feel both. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with going knowing that I'm going to be happy and I'm going to be sad. There's going to be times I'm going to feel both. There's going to be times that I'll just be happy. There will be times that I'll just be sad. It's kind of like a roller coaster. You just kind of along for the ride. But I feel like it's important to have these things planned. And it doesn't even have to be as extravagant as like a beach vacation. Like I said, it could just be a day trip. It could even be a lunch date with a friend or your mom. Just put something simple or really planned out, like a week-long vacation. Put something on the calendar that you will look forward to, because that will bring a little bit of joy into your heart of that thing that excites you. Okay, so the next thing that you can do, and I touched on this a little bit a few episodes back, but treat yourself. Do something for you. Do something that brings you joy and happiness. And it can look different. Like it doesn't, again, it can be simple. It could be extravagant. You could plan a whole spa day or, it could be free or it could be expensive. Like there's so many different ways that you can take this. A free idea, let's say that you love being out in nature like I do, and there's a certain trail that you love hiking or a path that you love walking that walks by a waterfall. We have a park near me that has a beautiful waterfall and it's free. Like they do have a paid option too where you can actually go down to the waterfall, but it's free. Like anyone can go walk and look at this waterfall. So you can do something like that. Or it can cost money. Like you can treat yourself to something that costs money as long as it's in the budget. Then, treat yourself. Go get your hair done. Buy that bike that you've been eyeing. Or, go get yourself a special coffee. It's just doing something that brings you joy. Again, it can be small or big, free or cost money. There's no rule. You just kind of have to weigh where you're at in life and what you want to do. But this grief journey is so hard on us in every way, mentally, physically, emotionally. We have been through a battle, friend, and we've suffered great, great loss. And so doing something for yourself, treating yourself can be a great way to bring joy and happiness and even healing into your heart. Okay, so number 4 is you can spend time with your friends, with your family. And I will say it's hard to do if you're not being intentional about it. If it's at your church, then that's kind of built in. You know that you'll be with them every week, at least on Sunday mornings. If it's your family, sometimes you have to be intentional about spending time with them and getting together. Because I believe we're not supposed to do this life alone, and we're not supposed to do this grief journey alone. And even if it's with people who have not lost their child, like all of my friends had never walked through what I had walked through, but it was still helpful to me to be with these people that walked with me through losing Sam. And if you're in a place right now where you're like, Courtney, I don't have a church, I don't have friends, I don't even have family, then there are different communities that you can get plugged into to find these people. And I actually have an episode on that I will link in the description of this episode that can help you. It's episode 26, Struggling to Find a Grief Community, 3 Places You Can Look. And so if that's you and you don't have a church, you don't have a group of friends that you can be with, number one, I understand. Making friends, especially as an adult, is really hard. Go listen to that episode when you're done with this one, because I believe it can give you some ideas of ways that you can get plugged in and really find that group that you can be with that can bring that joy into your life. And number 5, I want you to practice gratitude in your life. Gratitude, again, is something that feels so opposite of the emotions that we go through when we lose a child. And it can be hard to see, especially in the early parts of your journey. Like, what do I have to be grateful for when all you feel is the absence of your child? But gratitude is so important in bringing some joy back in our lives. And even if the only thing that you can feel grateful for that day is that you made it through the day, that's still something. That is still something that you can be grateful for. It's amazing what having a heart of gratitude can do to your outlook on life and to your levels of joy and happiness. And I know it can feel impossible to even find something to be grateful for, but I know you can. I actually have an episode all about gratitude and grief that I'll link in the description. It's episode 18, Gratitude and Grief, 5 Ways to Experience Gratitude After Child Loss. So if this is something that you are really feeling like you want to up in your life, experiencing gratitude, feeling gratitude, then go listen to that one, and that will help you know how you can experience gratitude and feel gratitude after losing your child. So that's it, friends. To recap, number 1, give yourself permission to feel joy. Number 2, plan something to look forward to. Number 3, treat yourself. Number 4, spend time with friends and family. And number 5, practice gratitude. I know that feeling joy seems impossible, but I also know that it can happen. And how I know is because I have experienced joy and happiness in my heart and in my life again. And again, it feels different than it did before, but it is there and it is possible for you. So I want you to go out after this episode and do something intentional to bring some joy in your life, whether it's planning something to look forward to. It could be with a friend and family, and then you have your hanging out with your friends and family and planning something to look forward to all in one. It could be treating yourself, whatever that is, whatever point stuck out to you. I want you to go plan it. Bring some joy back in your life. Don't feel bad about feeling that joy and that happiness. Be okay with feeling both, joy and sadness. And it's a journey, friends. It's a journey. We'll never have arrived until we get to heaven. And oh my goodness, what a day that'll be, right? But it's a journey that we're on, trying to figure this out. What does this look like? Our lives now without our child. But this is one step that I believe you can take that will help you know how you can start living life, feeling joy again, feeling happiness again. I'll see you next time. Love you, friend. Hi, friend. I hope this episode blessed you. The best advice I can give to be able to make it when a storm hits your life is to know who God is before it even starts to rain. I've created a free 31-day scripture calendar that will help you get to know who God is, His character. You can find this calendar plus bonus journaling pages and scripture cards all for free at unlockingjoy.com/God's character. This will also be linked in the show notes. I pray the foundation of your faith will be strengthened as you journey into the heart of the Father. I'll see you next time. Love you, friend.